You already know what I'm about to talk about based off of the title of my video, but before I even get started, I just want to say one thing and one thing only. I, KJ Majority, do not condone violence against women in any way, shape, or form. This story is supposed to be a comedic thing, like it's supposed to be funny. It doesn't glorify hidden women or anything like that. If you watch the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. I just want to let that be known now in the beginning of the video, so that way, you know, no one gets the wrong idea. If you're out here hitting women, I'm going to let you know right now, you're a piece of shit and you're scum. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I shouldn't be cussing on YouTube, should I? Yeah, fuck it, whatever. So, essentially, why do I say essentially so fucking much? So, in 3rd grade, during lunchtime, me and my 3 other friends, Chris, David, and Jeremy, and these are all obviously fake names, we were sitting at our common spot, you know, and everyone has that spot that they gravitate towards. We were sitting at our spot talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably, because that was like the hottest thing back then. And this girl, who we did not like at all, she walked past us and she said something slick to me. Now, me and Brianna have always had issues in the past. It was a well-known fact that me and Brianna didn't like each other. We argued probably every day of 3rd grade. It got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just ignore her, and hopefully if I ignore her, she'll just leave me alone. And ironically, the first day of me ignoring her was that day. So she said something slick to me, I ignored her, she just walked away. I'm like, yes, it worked. She won't bother me anymore. Hallelujah. So she went to her table with her little group of friends, I guess you can call it. She walked back towards our table, because unfortunately our table was near the trash can. So for every like row of lunch tables, there was a trash can next to it. And her group of friends sat on the far end by the wall, and me and my friend, we sat by the trash. And it wasn't like right next to the trash, but it was close enough, right? And she walked towards the trash, threw something out, and she came back and she said something slick to like all 4 of us. Now, I'm still choosing to ignore her because I don't want to be bothered. Chris, David, and Jeremy are going back and forth with her. And then, you know, they're saying a whole bunch of stuff like, yo, can you leave us alone? Why are you over here? You're always bothering us. No one likes you. Go away. And she's saying slick stuff back. And I think she said a mama joke about Jeremy's mom. And Jeremy was probably one of the biggest mama boys you've ever met. And everyone knows you don't talk about his mama, right? So she made a mama joke. I don't even remember what it was. It was probably something real corny like, your mama's so fat that she brought a spoon to the Super Bowl or something stupid, right? But back in 3rd grade, those were fighting words. So Jeremy was obviously irritated, and he said something so savage, so severe, that in my 23 years of life, I have met very few people who could match his savageness. So he looked at Brianna dead in her eyes and was like, you know what's crazy? God doesn't like ugly, but yet you're still alive. When I tell you, me and my boys went crazy, that was the funniest / savagest shit that we've ever heard in our lives. So of course we're all laughing. She's obviously upset because 1, she just got roasted, and 2, she has 4 boys laughing in her face. She looks at me, and let me remind you, there are 3 other fools who were laughing, and I really didn't say anything this whole time. She looks at me and she goes, KJ, what's so funny? And I'm still laughing, and I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, oh, you think that's funny? But she grabbed my lunchbox and walked towards, not really walked, more of like pranced towards the trash can and just dumped all my food. All of my lunch. What? Little side note for y'all. Since I went to private school and we had to bring lunch, a lot of times my lunch was either leftovers or a sandwich, right? But today, my mama packed not 1, not 2, but 3 Jamaican beef patties. And I was excited to eat it. I was thinking about it all day, especially since that day I didn't have breakfast. So I was hungry. And she threw it out. She threw them all out. She threw out the 3 beef patties, my juicy juice, and my fruit snacks. She threw out my fruit snacks, y'all. And I just sat there in disbelief because I was just so confused. Why did she throw out my food? Jeremy is the one who said something. Why isn't his food being thrown out? I'm just fucking laughing. Like, what? Literally, my whole side of the lunch table was just silent. Even her group of friends who was watching like the whole thing unfold was like, and I just sat there and like tears started to fall down because a nigga's in 3rd grade and just saw his whole thing of lunch just be tossed in the trash. Chris was like, yo, what's your problem? He didn't even say anything like that. Jeremy was the one who said something. Why are you throwing out his food? I think she started laughing at me. She's like, oh, look at the crybaby. Look at the crybaby. Are you hungry, crybaby? Aww. Should have thought about that before you laughed at me. So the whole time she's like laughing at me and making fun of me. I'm just sitting there speechless. Cause I'm really like, did this bitch really just throw all my food? Like, all of it? You couldn't have left me one patty? She threw all 3 patties. So she's still laughing at me, still making a whole bunch of jokes. So I literally just stood up, looked her dead in the eye, and said, I'm telling the teacher. Bro, the fear in her eyes, and I was like, yeah, checkmate, bitch. Checkmate. So I got up and I was walking, I got up and I was all, puffed up, because now I know I'm about to win. Because you threw out my food for no reason. And 2, I know you about to get in a whole bunch of trouble. So as I get up and I'm walking towards my teacher, she being Brianna, walked in front of me and was like, you're not gonna tell the teacher. And here's the part that threw me for a loop. How are you gonna tell me that I'm not gonna tell the teacher? You should be asking me, please don't tell the teacher. I'll give you some of my food. Something a normal kid would say. No, but this psychopath was like, oh, you're not gonna tell the teacher. She's like, you are not gonna tell the teacher. And I walked past her, I'm like, yeah, I am, the fuck? She walks up to me again, she's like, you are not going to tell the teacher. And then grabs me by my shirt. And I was like, bitch, no! So, I walk past her again, and I'm like, I am going to tell the teacher. So she walks in front of me one last time, and before I can even register what she's about to do, she just winds up. You see how far my hand is? And goes, whoa, pop! And all of this just smacked. And my glasses on the floor, and the whole lunchroom is now quiet. I'm looking at my glasses on the floor, and still, I'm still upset about my lunch being thrown out. And she just smacked me in front of the entire school. I just got so mad. Like, I kid you not. My hair went gold and everything. I turned Super Saiyan. I turned to her, looked her in her face, and I was like, leave me alone! I guess I was a lot stronger than I thought I was, because old girl flew back, like a solid 2-3 feet back. She landed on her butt, and she was like, the momentum was still pushing her. I pushed her so hard, I had to get down. I pushed her so hard that she landed on her butt and she was still falling backwards. Her legs, I can't do it. And my feet kind of ashy, don't judge. Her legs went above her head. And she did like a flip. Like, I don't know nothing about flips, but she did like a flip and landed on her stomach. Seeing her fall so dramatically, it really registered in my head like, oh shit, I just pushed a girl. I just pushed a girl. Oh my god. Like, I was so shocked by how hard I pushed her that I'm still like this. Like, my body is still in the pushing motion. She sits up and she looks around and then starts wailing. Just starts screaming. She was like, he punched me. He punched me. He punched me. Oh my god, he punched me. I punched you? Really? I punched you? The whole cafeteria saw what I did. I pushed you hard as shit, but I ain't punch you now. Like I said, I'm still in the pushing motion. So she's screaming and crying. I'm confused because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, did I really push this girl? Like, did I really push her that damn hard? And my teacher is now storming over to me, and she grabs all this. Like, you know, remember when you were a kid and you did something bad, and anytime you did something bad, an adult would just grab you either by your elbow or by your tricep, like all that meat right here. Like, she grabbed all of it. I was like, oh no! So she grabs me by my arm and she pulls me in front of her. She's like, so now you gonna hit girls? You hit girls now? Huh? And she's yelling at me and yelling at me, and now I'm crying. And I don't mean like no little, you know, no. I mean like I'm bawling, like snot bubbles, ugly face, like. But she hit me first. She threw my neck. And my teacher's just yelling at me. And then my two boys, David and Chris, ran by and they're like, no. She hit him first. She threw out his lunch. It's not his fault. Stop yelling at him. And then the teacher's yelling at them. Meanwhile, the person who started all of this, Jeremy, he just sitting at the lunch table eating on his chips. And we're screaming and crying, and the whole time while, you know, I'm trying to explain myself and my actual two friends are trying to defend me, Brianna is still on the floor screaming and crying, and she's grabbing her stomach and her head because apparently I punched her in both places, which makes no damn sense. I didn't do this, all right? I didn't punch you like this. I pushed you like that. I pushed you. Whatever. My teacher's still yelling at us. The three of us are now crying, and you know, she's like, I'm gonna tell your moms. I didn't think I could cry harder until she said the magic word, my mother. I thought I was going to die. It's bad enough that I was causing a problem at school, but I hit a girl at school? My mom was gonna kill me, bro. So now I'm screaming and hollering like, please don't. I'll do anything. Please don't do it. Jesus, no. Lord, please don't do it. Please don't do it, Lord, no. I'm freaking out, and I'm freaking out so much I didn't realize that there was another teacher standing there. And luckily for me, she witnessed the whole thing, right? She was tapped my teacher on the shoulder, and she was like, hey, not to step on any toes, but she did hit him first, and she threw out his lunch. He was actually on his way to go tell you about it. And do you know what my teacher said? So, he shouldn't have hit a girl regardless of the situation. What? She hit me first. She threw out my lunch and she hit me first. I didn't mean to push her back that hard, but I was upset, okay? And she swung on me first. I didn't even do nothing to her. I was minding my own motherfucking business. Like, what? The other teacher's like, what? The other teacher is trying to like explain to her like exactly what happened, because the other teacher is just as confused as me and my two friends are. And the whole time while this is going on, Brianna, who was just screaming and crying, is now smiling and cheesing like the devil she is. Wonder why she was smiling? She thought she won. She thought she had achieved victory. The both teachers decided that they're gonna let the principal handle it, and they took all four of us to the principal's office. The principal called us in his office one by one, and of course, I went last, right? So I go into his office, and he's like, young man, do you know why you're in my office? Yes, sir. I know why I'm in your office. All right, explain. So I tell him everything that happened. I tell him how me and Brianna have been beefing all year, and how I've been going out of my way to make sure that, you know, she leaves me alone and yada yada yada. Oh, he sends me back to like the waiting area of his office, and then he calls back in Brianna. She comes sitting out and she starts like crying. So I was like, oh snap. Does he believe me? Like, did we win? Like, I'm looking at my boys, I'm like, yo, I think we won. Like, you would have thought we just beat a case. Like, we were like excited, but we were trying not to show it because our teacher was still mad at us for whatever fucking reason. So the principal comes out, Brianna's behind him sniffling. He looks at Brianna, he goes, don't you have something you want to say to KJ? Sorry. I just looked at her because, you know, what else was I supposed to do? So she apologizes. The principal tells our teacher that she is supposed to call her mom and tell her mom that she threw out my food and that she's bullying me, pretty much, right? My teacher was like, oh, what about him? Him being me. And he was like, nothing. Dude, go get him some food. He hasn't eaten all day. All four of us went back to the lunchroom. Lunch is practically almost over. The teacher who came to our assistance, she had already went out, like she left and got McDonald's for me. And I had McDonald's. I had like the cool little kids meal. I was happy. I was chilling with my boys. And when I say my boys, I mean me, David, and Chris. We did not talk to Jeremy. We were like, oh, so you just gonna sit there and act like you don't know what happened? Cool. Sit by yourself. So yeah, so the three of us, we were just chilling, mind our business. And, you know, I was happy. I got a kids menu. But you wanna know the crazy part though? Our teacher never told her parents what happened. Like, she didn't say anything to her parents. The only thing she did was, as a punishment, for like the next week, she made the girl sit next to her during lunch. Which wasn't really a punishment because all of her friends just went and sat with her and our teacher. So it kind of became like an exclusive table because only her friends and the teacher could sit there. She punished me by making me, so when we would line up, right, as a punishment, anytime we would line up, I would always have to line up with two other dudes. And the reason why is because normally when we would like leave our classroom or go anywhere within the building, we would have to line up boy, girl, boy, girl. She would always make me stand next to two dudes, which I guess was supposed to punish me and I guess keep me away from other ladies, even though she hit me first, threw out my food. But you know, we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, so she punished me, but it wasn't really that much of a punishment because I just stood next to my two friends anyway. So, whatever. That's a story about how I hit a girl. Well, it wasn't really a hit, more of a push. I don't know if you classify that as a hit, but whatever. And Brianna, I didn't use your real name, but if you're watching this video, I heard you had a kid. And I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but if it's a girl, I hope you taught her what you learned that day. To keep your fucking hands to yourself. Make sure you like the video and subscribe.